113 million years ago, in the humid river deltas of what is now the American South, the ground trembled under the weight of something enormous. Not the tyrant king everyone knows. That predator was still 60 million years away from existing. This was an older terror, a bigger terror for its time. Taller at the hip than a school bus is wide, armed with railroad spike teeth, and carrying a strange ridge of bone running down its spine like the sail of a ship frozen mid-voyage.
This is Acrocanthosaurus, the high-spined lizard, and for nearly 10 million years it was the apex predator of North America. Today, we reconstruct its life, bone by bone, scar by scar.
The story of Acrocanthosaurus begins not in the field, but in the fine print of scientific journals. The first bones were unearthed in Oklahoma in the 1940s, pulled from rock belonging to the Antlers Formation, a layer of earth laid down in the Early Cretaceous, roughly 113 to 110 million years ago. Paleontologists J. Willis Stovall and Juan Langston Jr. described the animal in 1950, naming it for the single most distinctive feature they found: tall neural spines rising from the vertebrae, some over 20 centimeters high. For decades, Acrocanthosaurus was known only from fragments: a few vertebrae, some teeth, pieces of a skull like this one. It wasn't until 1983, when an amateur fossil hunter in Atoka County, Oklahoma, discovered a nearly complete skeleton, that scientists finally understood what this animal truly looked like from head to tail. That specimen, nicknamed Fran, remains one of the...
Acrocanthosaurus was not a tyrannosaur, despite the resemblance in body plan. It belonged to a different family entirely, the Carcharodontosauridae, the shark-toothed lizards, a group of theropods whose members would later include some of the largest land predators ever to exist, like Giganotosaurus in South America. Acrocanthosaurus was among the earliest and largest of this North American lineage, filling an ecological role that, on other continents, giant Carcharodontosaurs would fill for millions of years after it was gone. An adult Acrocanthosaurus measured somewhere between 11 and 12 meters long, nearly 40 feet nose to tail. Weight estimates place it between 5 and 7 metric tons, rivaling the mass of a large African bull elephant. It stood roughly 4.5 meters tall at the hips. This was not a lean, darting hunter. This was raw, standing muscle mass, built to bring down the largest animals on the continent. Now to the feature that gives this animal its name. Running from the neck to the base of the tail, the vertebrae of Acrocanthosaurus carry elongated neural spines, bony extensions that, in life, would have supported a raised ridge along the animal's back. Unlike Spinosaurus, whose spines stretched into a towering sail over a meter tall, Acrocanthosaurus's ridge was low and broad, more like the hump of a bison than the fin of a sailfish. Scientists still debate exactly what this ridge was for. It may have stored fat reserves for lean seasons. It may have helped regulate body temperature. Or it may simply have been a visual signal, a way for this predator to look even larger and more dominant to rivals and potential mates. Whatever its purpose, it made Acrocanthosaurus one of the most visually distinctive predators to ever walk the earth.
Look closely at that skull. It's narrow from side to side, but tall and deep, an architecture built to resist twisting forces. Its jaws were lined with curved, blade-like teeth, serrated on both edges like a steak knife, designed not to crush bone, but to slice through flesh and muscle in long, raking bites. Modern biomechanical studies, reconstructing bite force from the shape and thickness of the skull bones, suggest Acrocanthosaurus had a bite weaker, pound for pound, than a Tyrannosaurus rex. But that weakness was a trade-off, not a flaw. Its skull could better withstand the stress of ambush attacks, charging in, delivering a slashing bite, and retreating before its prey could retaliate. This was a hit-and-run hunter, not a bone-crushing brute. Its forelimbs, though small compared to its hind legs, were powerful and armed with sharp, curved claws, likely used to grip and hold struggling prey in close, while the jaws did the real damage. Acrocanthosaurus did not hunt alone in an empty world. The early Cretaceous landscapes of Texas and Oklahoma were shared with some of the largest animals in Earth's history, including the sauropod Sauroposeidon, a long-necked giant that may have stood over 60 feet tall. Overhead, pterosaurs patrolled the skies above coastal wetlands and river floodplains. This was a predator built to challenge animals many times its own size. Famous fossil trackways discovered in Texas, long believed to show a chase between a theropod and a sauropod, are widely attributed to Acrocanthosaurus, offering us a literal snapshot of this predator's daily life, frozen in stone as footprints in ancient mud. Its diet likely included young sauropods, ornithopods, and other mid-sized herbivores of its ecosystem, animals it could isolate, wound, and track down using stamina rather than raw speed. To understand just how large this animal really was, look at the people standing beneath it. A fully grown Acrocanthosaurus would have towered over any human, its skull alone stretching well over 1 meter in length, filled with teeth the size of railroad spikes. For roughly 10 million years, an almost incomprehensible span of time, nothing in North America challenged it for the title of apex predator. It would take the extinction of Acrocanthosaurus's lineage and the slow rise of tyrannosaurs from smaller, secondary predators into the dominant hunters of the late Cretaceous before North America saw another land predator of comparable scale. Acrocanthosaurus vanishes from the fossil record roughly 110 million years ago, well before the asteroid impact that would end the age of dinosaurs entirely 65 million years later. Its disappearance is tied to a broader ecological shift, changing sea levels, shifting climates, and the gradual transformation of its habitat as the Cretaceous progressed. As the carcharodontosaurs that dominated the early Cretaceous quietly faded from North America, an ecological vacancy opened, one that tens of millions of years later, Tyrannosaurus rex and its relatives would come to fill. In many ways, Acrocanthosaurus represents a changing of the guard in the story of dinosaur predators, the last great reign of one dynasty before another rose to take its place. Today, mounted skeletons and casts of Acrocanthosaurus stand in museums across the world, from Oklahoma to Texas to exhibits as far away as Japan. Testament to how far our understanding of this animal has traveled since those first fragmentary bones were dug from Oklahoma clay in the 1940s. Every rib, every vertebra, every tooth in these displays is a piece of a puzzle assembled over more than 70 years of careful science, comparing bone structure, studying wear patterns on teeth, and using modern imaging to peer inside fossils without ever breaking them open.
Acrocanthosaurus reminds us that the age of dinosaurs was not a single unchanging world. It was a 160 million year saga, with different kings rising and falling across different continents and different eras. Long before Tyrannosaurus rex ever existed, this high-spined predator ruled the rivers and floodplains of prehistoric North America, and its bones, still being studied today, continue to reshape what we know about the giants that once walked this land.